Hello, what's going on? Tuesday, right? I mean, hopefully we had that good class discussion, but it's going from one book to the other, even though we're going to find out that Gasp starts like a week after the shooting. I think those are the first words or whatever. So Ben is going to be part of this book. We will see. Yeah. So let's get right into it. I don't know if we'll be able to finish this book by the end of the year. We got what, like 20 days left of reading, 20 days left of school, 21, 22, something like that. Of course, we won't have 22 classes though, so we won't be able to quite finish, but there is a link where if you want to very badly, you probably could finish it over the summer if you want. But there you go. Gasp, page 1. We'll have to deal with scrolling through a few ads, but not too bad. All right. And it's a really long page. I don't know if this is because there's only like 50 total. I think it is something like that. So it's not like this is page 1. It's just page 1 of this website. All right. 1. It's been a week since the shooting, and we're back on the University of Chicago campus. Ben's Galang's eyes light up when he sees us, and he opens his dorm room door wider to let us in. Sawyer and I step inside and stand awkwardly in the crowded space while Trey eases in after us, taking care not to bump his injured arm on the skateboard that hangs from the ceiling next to the doorway. Ben and Trey exchange greetings, and Trey's face floods with color. All right, so little subtle inferences there. I don't think I can really highlight this well, but maybe embarrassment. Maybe there's something going on, or it could be potentially between the two of them. I didn't know you were coming with them. Ben says to Trey. He sounds genuinely happy to see him. Okay, so good things right there. And we've learned that Vernon was the guy with Ben, right, at the hospital. I think they're just roommates. Yeah, and we'll find out more about the roommate, but back to this. I didn't know you were coming with them. We're right here. Jules talked me into it, Trey says. Right, like I had to. I try not to laugh. Yeah, I made him. He needed to get out of the apartment and get some fresh air. Thanks for getting up early on a Sunday. Thanks for saving my life, guys. Ben says, okay, Sawyer butts in. Dude, you gotta stop with that. Sawyer is a rather uncomfortable hero, Trey explains. Sorry, man, I won't mention it again. Ben grins and points to our seating options. Trey steps around a pile of laundry to a love seat and carefully picks up a bra from the seat cushion. He glances at Ben, eyebrow raised. Roommate's girlfriend spent the night. It was awesome, he says, sounding like it's totally not awesome. He snatches the bra from Trey's hand and tosses it on the bottom bunk bed. They're slobs. You guys met my roommate, Vernon. He was with me at the hospital. Have a seat. How's the arm? He perches on the armrest opposite Trey and Sawyer, and I sit in the 2 desk chairs. Okay, we could talk a little bit about that. Now, hang on, that's too much. We could talk a little bit about that last paragraph. Now, I might be assuming too much, but Vernon, if he has a girlfriend, then, I mean, unless something more is going on, multiple partners or something, we could safely assume that the guy at the hospital who put his arm on Ben's shoulder, at least they're probably not a couple, right? They're roommates. And the way that Ben and Trey were looking at each other, it's possible that they might be open to some kind of friendship or more in the future. So, I mean, things are looking up for Trey. All right, Trey shrugs with his good shoulder. He says, it's all right. Ben presses his lips together and says nothing more. So, I say, glancing around the room. Bunk beds, 2 desks, the love seat, a small TV balancing precariously. Great word right there. Precariously, like it could fall at any moment. On milk crates, one desk is fairly neat, and there's a map of the Philippines on the wall above it. I start again, turning my gaze back to Ben. You're probably wondering why I wanted to talk to you. He's wearing different funky glasses, I notice. Oh, Cute dogs. We can't, that's too distracting. We got to have boring print here. You might be distracted by the cute dogs. All right, I'll go up a little bit. He's wearing different funky glasses, I noticed. And I remember that his got broken in the shooting. He smiles. Kind of. What's up? I stare at the carpet, knowing that even though I practiced what I was going to say, this is going to sound so ridiculous. I lift my head and catch Sawyer's eye. He nods, giving me encouragement. My boys are on my side. I'm not alone, but it's still insanity, and I have to be careful. I turn my head toward Ben, who waits, puzzled. All right, it's right on the page. I was going to ask, like, what do you think she's asking here? But it's right there. And then I just blurted out, any chance you've started seeing visions recently? All right, we got this little 2. So like I said earlier, these are not exactly the page numbers. So this is chapter 2. All right, a little different than we've read before, but that's high. All right, I expect Ben to laugh, but he doesn't. He studies me a moment. No, he says slowly. Oh, I say, okay. I peer more closely at him. You sure? He frowns and looks at Trey. I'm not sure I understand what's going on here. Sorry, Trey mutters. Yeah, it's a weird question, but she's not insane. I swear. Sawyer nods in agreement. See, Trey continues. Jules, well, see, it all started. He falters and looks at me a few months ago, I say. Now, this whole part right here is basically, let me put me on the screen too, is basically that part right there. Yeah, that part right there would be for, that we're going to read. That part is for people who might not have read book 2, then went right into book 3. This is kind of just to refresh our memory. But since, we kind of don't need it, but I'll read it anyway. We know what's happening. A few months ago, I say, I got this vision of a truck hitting a building and exploding, and I kept seeing it, and it got more and more frequent, interfering with my life, and I kind of felt like I had to do something to, stop the thing from happening or whatever. And it turned out that the building was actually Sawyer's family restaurant, and the truck was a snowplow with a dead driver. Not like ghost dead. He had a heart attack while driving. Trey adds. Right. I say, we're not that nuts. So in the vision, the snowplow crashes into Sawyer's family's restaurant, and there's a huge explosion and 9 body bags in the snow, including me in one of those body bags. Sawyer interrupts. And Jules tried to warn me, but I wouldn't believe her. But she and Trey, of course, he adds, ended up stopping the truck from hitting the gas line, so our restaurant didn't explode. And that's how Jules broke her arm. And then I thought the whole vision nightmare thing was over and we could just go back to normal. But apparently I gave it to Sawyer. And then I, Sawyer continues, started seeing a vision too of the room is suddenly silent. And we three glance at each other. And then at Ben, who is looking like a cornered feral cat right about now. That's another good word to know. Feral, another wild. Hey, we talked about that before, haven't we? I think so. That was one of our vocabulary words. Feral cats, most common way you'll hear it. Also, unfortunately, I think we've talked about this before, feral children. All right. Cat right about now, wondering if there's any way out of the room and probably willing to use force if necessary to achieve it. There's some more kind of cute dogs. There you go. More ads. Trey clears his throat and says quietly, then Sawyer started seeing a vision of a mass shooting at a school. Ben's eyebrows twitch. For the past few weeks, Trey continues, Sawyer heard 11 gunshots in his head and reflected in windows, on billboards, on TV screens and other places. He saw the music room on the 4th floor of that building, and he saw bodies, piles of bodies. And so that's why 2 high school sophomores were hanging around here last weekend when the University of Chicago wasn't even officially in session. They weren't checking out the school. They were here to stop a mass murder, or at least keep it from being as horrible as it was in the vision. Trey smiles grimly. That's why, Ben. All right. And we do have some more ads that we won't really be looking at. Although this one, Oprah's new house is so gorgeous. I would like to kind of see Oprah's new house, but check it out. You may be able to do that on your own time. Do you even know who Oprah is? Oprah might be so old. She's not been on TV for a while. So it might be I'm the only one in the room old enough to know Oprah. But she was once very, very famous. And I think still to this day, she's very rich. She might have like I think she has her own TV channel, I think. Like a real TV channel, not a YouTube channel, like a real, like the O Network. I think I don't know. Oprah. But I think Oprah spelled backwards. Isn't that something? Oprah spelled backwards is something. I don't know. I can't do it in my head right now. Maybe it's not. Oh. Anyways, Oprah, that's her. But we're talking about Gasp here. Page 2. Ben's face is strained. He looks from one of us to the next. This isn't funny, he says. It's not funny. It's not a joke. I say, I promise. We wouldn't do that to you. I promise. Ben glances at Trey again like he trusts him more than us. Trey nods. Now, we could get into that briefly, like why does he trust Trey more than the other two? Could have a discussion about that now. I could pause it. It could be, I mean, Trey is like 2 years older than them, so he might just kind of project like he has more information, more trusted. Yeah, that could be it. Or it could be that Ben has a crush on him. I don't know. We will continue to find out. All right, we're right down here. Trey nods. Ben turns to Sawyer and studies him for a moment more. Piles of bodies? Sawyer meets his gaze. Yes. Ben stands up and paces in the tiny space. He stops. Me? He asks, stabbing his thumb into his chest. My body? His voice wavers. Sawyer drops his gaze to the floor. He doesn't answer. Chapter 3. Trey interrupts his silence. So, you're not having any visions then? At first, Ben doesn't appear to hear him, but then after a moment, he looks at Trey and shakes his head. What? No, sorry. Trey leans back and lets out a sigh of relief. Don't be sorry, it's a good thing. I catch Sawyer's eye. He looks relieved, but I'm even more stressed because if it's not Ben, that means we have to keep looking. Ben, I say, here's the thing. Just like I passed the vision to Sawyer, I'm worried that Sawyer might have passed the curse of the vision onto someone else. I frown, thinking curse sounds too whack job, but I can't think of a better word. Like maybe somebody else who was in that room is now infected or whatever, and they're seeing a vision of something else, the next tragedy. So I need to find out. So we can help them. We need to find out, Sawyer says. Ben looks at us like we're speaking a foreign language. That's kind of reassuring there too, because if you remember at the end of the last book, Sawyer was kind of on the not even on the fence. He was like, no, this ends here. But looks like he's more on board. Ben looks at us like we're speaking a foreign language. So I continue. Can you remember everyone who was in the room at the time of the shooting? Do you know them all? More puppies. Same ones, actually. Right? No, that one might be new. I don't know. I do remember that one. Because he kind of looks like a pit bull smiling. And I worry, like, he could still eat me, though. Ben's face. How long have we been reading, by the way? I've just been so caught up. All right. That's probably a good place to stop. After this, we're going to, like, take a look at my final 2 paragraphs of my essay on the Guatemalan genocide. So remember, the 2 paragraphs that I'll be talking about, I'll explain it in that video, but just the first one is, what is that country doing? What is that area doing to try to prevent a future genocide? Hopefully there's something in place. And then your conclusion, which we'll talk about. Conclusions are a little bit tough. They're so easy that they're tough sometimes. All right, Gasp. Hope you're enjoying it. I really like the idea. What if one of the shooters got it? I don't know. Just thinking out loud there. But if you look at the cover of the book, which we've done, right? We've seen the cover. Have we not? I could probably pull it up pretty easily, but it is a picture of it. It's hard to tell. Excuse me. It's hard to tell from the eyes, but they could be feminine eyes, and definitely it's a person whose skin would be darker, I think, than Jules and Sawyer. Well, we know Sawyer was the second cover. So let me just pull this up really quickly here. I think I got it. Shouldn't be too bad. Yeah. So you can see right there. I'll make it nice and big. That this is as big as. Can I make it any bigger? That's as big as I can make it. But yeah, clearly. So this person's skin would be darker. I mean, because we've seen the skin color of Jules and Sawyer from the last two covers. So could it be? I mean, could it be one of the shooters? I don't remember. I mean, we could go back. We won't. We could go back and talk about who was in the room. Ben will probably let us know tomorrow, but we have the benefit of seeing the cover. All right. Adios.